Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds. And it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else. The paradigm of mindset of building muscle is not meaning you're going to be bulky. Building muscle is a statute of strength. It's a statute of discipline. It's a statute of, just overall, your body composition and giving you the results that you want. What is going on, my friends? What's up? Welcome back to the Macro Hour with Nikki Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I am your host, Nikki Stott, and welcome to today's episode 108, where we're going to talk about muscles and your metabolism. 2 of 3 of my favorite words, the third word being macros. But for today's podcast, I'm going to discuss with you why and how building more muscle can significantly enhance your metabolism, your metabolic health, your overall health in so many ways. But for today's podcast, we're going to break it down to 4 key benefits of how building more muscle can significantly enhance your metabolism to work with you instead of against you. And my big thing with this, you guys, I'm obsessed with this topic. I'm obsessed with muscles. I'm obsessed with metabolism. I'm obsessed with macros. And my big thing is to shift the paradigm of what women live in and have lived in for so many years of just focusing on wanting to lose weight. And then all of the guidance and the resources that lead to that outcome are just making women look like a skinnier, fatter version of themselves. Another part of the paradigm that I want to shift is how building muscle, how eating right, how moving your body can be a huge impact positively to your overall health, and not necessarily having to take things to treat just symptoms, but getting down to the root cause of things. And you probably understand where I'm going with that. And then the paradigm of mindset of building muscle is not meaning you're going to be bulky. Building muscle is a statute of strength. It's a statute of discipline. It's a statute of, just overall, your body composition and giving you the results that you want, right? Losing weight and losing fat are 2 different things. And like I said, treating a symptom and treating the root cause are 2 different things. And then believing limiting beliefs and understanding what muscle actually does. These are all things that I want to break through. And I hope that so far up to the podcast of 108 so far of episodes and all the things I'm about and my social medias and WarriorBabe and what our coaches preach, that we're getting through to breaking these things that just are flaws in the industry and revamping the paradigm to building muscle is a beautiful thing. Building muscle is so supportive to your overall health and longevity. And building muscle can it just can add years to your life. Okay, so with that little rant, let's dive into these 4 things on directly how building muscle can significantly enhance your metabolism. So my immediate thought, metabolism. Metabolism is what a lot of people think is broken because of the things maybe you've done or tried that have led your metabolism to slow down and not really work with you and kind of work against you. And people are eating 1,100 to 1,200, 1,300 calories. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But that's just enough to basically help you survive. But what about the other calories that you do when you work out and you build strength and you build muscle? And it's people's metabolisms, you're throwing spaghetti up against a wall and it's not sticking. You're wondering why you're not getting results. And it's because these methods, like I mentioned earlier, are flawed in a sense. And we need to bring in the picture of why strength training is so important and why this concept of having more muscle to your body is it will improve your metabolism in so many ways. So if you guys want to eat more, you want to get the results, you want to decrease any health conditions or reduce the risk of them coming in the future, building muscle is your answer. Okay? But for the sake of the podcast today, we're going to just directly correlate it to your metabolism. So first and foremost, a way of which building more muscle significantly enhances your metabolism is by increasing your BMR. Your BMR is just the number of calories your body needs in order to perform basic functions like breathing, circulating your blood, and repairing your blood, and repairing your cells in your body. Muscle tissue, the reason why it increases your basal metabolic rate is because muscle tissue is metabolically more active than fat tissue, meaning the more muscle that you have to your body, the more calories your body burns at rest. So, for example, somebody's BMR, what they basically just need to perform basic daily functions of survival is typically like anywhere, and it's different. Nobody has the same BMR number, but it can range from like 100 or 1,000 calories to like 1,300 calories to beyond. Like, I'm going to explain this in a second of an example with me, but if you just let that ruminate and think about the numbers I just said, some women are eating that or less in order to get to the results that they want. And then 6 months down the road of eating that, they're wondering why they're not getting the results. Is because basically they're just not giving their body enough. And then when you double it with like following a program that's asking you to strength train, telling you to strength train, which is then having a more metabolically active tissue working, and you're not feeding your body what it needs in order to make that muscle work or to make that whole system work, and you're wondering why you're not getting results, this is why. You're not eating enough food to make these processes happen. So when you are focusing on building more muscle, so for example, for me, I started out my journey maybe being around that normal number of a BMR, which is like 1,100 calories, 1,300 calories. Like, it's different for everybody. It's based off of your age, your weight, your height, and your sex. And like even like getting down to your body composition, like other things too as well. But for me, I may have started out on my journey at that. I don't have a measure of when I started at where my BMR was, but through the years of strength training, 8 years now, and doing the work and putting in the work and being consistent, making it my routine and making it my whole lifestyle, I have significantly added more muscle mass to my body. And so therefore, my BMR has increased. And so therefore, my ability to burn more calories while my body is at rest is higher because I have more metabolically active tissue to my body, which is more active than fat tissue. Okay, this is making sense? Wonderful. Hey, just want to drop a huge appreciation to you guys listening to the show. It means a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and there's so much more to come with it. If you are enjoying it, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that tons. And also, it would help this podcast reach others who need to hear these messages too. Number 2, so by you just building more muscle, you burn more calories because of how you're making your metabolism work for you instead of against you. Okay. Number 2, babes that struggle with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, listen up. When you focus on building more strength, when you focus on building more muscle, which is a byproduct of just strength training, you improve your insulin sensitivity. Muscle helps to regulate blood sugar levels by using glucose for energy. So by you building more muscle, you can improve your body's response to insulin, which will reduce the risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. This is huge, especially for the women that come top of mind that have a history in their family of type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance or things that factor high A1C levels. If you know you have this in your bloodline and in your genetic makeup, you should focus on strength training. And or if you already have this diagnosis, you can still lower how intense that type of disease is. This is particularly so important as like better insulin sensitivity. As you focus on making that better, this means that your body can handle carbohydrates more efficiently. Huge. So this is where like I have seen so many women inside the WarriorBabe program come back with sharing huge wins of how they're coming off of cholesterol medications, how their A1C is way better than previous months of being tested, that they've reversed their type 2 diabetes. There is a plethora of the life-changing outcomes that building more muscle and focusing on strength training has done for women inside of our program. And that's exactly what I wanted it to do for you guys too as well. And focusing on like why building muscle is just so important, not for just like the overall aesthetics, but for the fact that literally it can add years to your life. It gives you more longevity. It's the organ of longevity that Dr. Gabriel Lyon says. And it can lower the risk of you experiencing these types of diseases, or, you know, lowering the need to be on medications with these diseases. It's incredible. And I wish more people understood this so that they can embrace strength training. Again, there's so many, like I hear it breaks, like I want this more message to be understood, right? I want it to be understood so that you can apply it and women can get past the fact that like strength training is intimidating. I get it at the first, but like remember the why, like what I'm saying, like remember the why, and then I'll make you go and do it. I'll make you more excited. It'll help you understand why this is so important, and you'll want to do the thing. Or like I hear women say, these exercises are so boring, and I'm like, yeah, but like understand the method to the madness, right? Understand the why. Like you have to do the boring work, you know? So like because the why behind it, like this is so good for your overall well-being and your overall health. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, ladies who are going through menopause or are premenopausal, focusing on building strength, focusing on building muscle, which again, like I said, is a byproduct of focusing on building strength and doing strength training. It enhances your hormonal balance. Building muscle directly influences the production of various hormones. For instance, it leads to an increased production of growth hormone and testosterone, both of which are so incredibly important for healthy metabolic function. These hormones not only help in building and maintaining muscle mass, they're not only a byproduct of building more muscle, but they also play a huge role in fat metabolism. So like by incorporating these strategies, by doing these things, it's not just, you know, you're building muscle, but you're also getting the results that you want by focusing on building muscle, because they all work together. All the hormones work together to achieve this result. And building muscle is really like the cornerstone of it. Okay, so that's number 3. And then the last one is short, simple, and to the point. I've already kind of touched on it, but it increases your energy expenditure during and after exercise. So when you are working out, when you are breaking down muscle fibers, these muscle contractions during that training session consume a lot of energy. So this means the more muscle mass you have, the more energy and calories that you will burn during and after a workout, right? So I've kind of touched on this when I said that it increases your metabolic rate. Well, the more muscle mass that you have, the more calories you burn, point blank. And those two kind of combine together, right? So all in all, in summary of those 4 things that I just talked about, building more muscle can significantly boost your metabolism. So if you are somebody that's coming from a world of not eating enough food and your metabolic health is kind of like in the dumpster right now, almost being lit on fire, know that it can be reversed, and know that this is one of the cornerstones of reversing it, is by focusing on strength training exercises so that you can significantly enhance your metabolic health through strength training, through building more muscle, right? And it's not only done through all the things that it's not only done through increased resting metabolic rate, but also by improving what I talked about, hormonal balance, insulin sensitivity, and the efficiency of your body during and after physical activities. more muscle is a beautiful thing that I wish so many people understood a little bit more. And then once people can understand why this is so important, people are more willing to apply it and to do it. And then once they, understand it too as well, it's like they get past what I said at the beginning of like these limiting beliefs of muscle is going to make me too bulky. If I touch a dumbbell, I'm going to look like a man. Or, I'm intimidated to walk into the weight room. I don't know where to start. Those are all fair. However, attach yourself to why this is so important, and you will find ways to support you doing more of this activity instead of allowing these limiting beliefs and stories to get in the way, because they're not going to serve you or the person that you want to become by, one, getting the aesthetic look that you want, but two, getting the overall health that you are striving for, right? I think that at the end of the day, everybody wants to be healthy. Well, this is a huge counterpart to you doing that and being that healthy person and striving for longevity and living in a healthy way. That's point blank. Building muscle is like, again, I want to shift that paradigm. It's like no longer is it the way of what it used to be for women of like, eating less will get you slim and skinny. It's like skinny is not cool anymore. It's like strong is cool. And in order to get toned, which a lot of women are like, I want to be more toned. I want to, and that like, this is the thing too, there's a difference between weight loss and fat loss. Because I think a lot of people attribute to like when they want to go after a goal, they want to lose weight. And that's just what's commonly known as or said to do. But it's like, well, what does that mean to you? First of all, so I can help understand where your mindset is at with losing weight. Because then it's typically like, what does that mean to you? And people are like, well, I want to tighten up or tone up. And then I'm like, well, that's completely different than what you just said with losing weight. And if you guys are interested, there's an early podcast, which I'll probably really bring it back to top of mind with this podcast. But it was like episode, I don't know, one of like the first 10 or first 15, where I broke down this difference between weight loss and fat loss. And that's a huge paradigm shift for you guys if you are the ones that just want to lose weight, but then like you unpack it a little bit more and it's actually like, oh no, but I want to tone up. I want to be a little bit more lean. I want, my skin to be tighter. Then like, this is a different approach. And the approach to you getting that result involves strength training. So again, end rant there. Everything that I just said, building more muscle will significantly enhance your metabolism, but most importantly, your overall health. So in all of the ways that I talked about, increasing your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, improving insulin sensitivity, enhancing your hormone balance, and increasing energy expenditure during and after your workouts. All right, guys, so I hope you found this helpful. It's like I said in an earlier podcast, I was like, make carbs great again. It's like, make building muscle great. I don't know, that came off the top of my head. But if you guys can think of a better one, screenshot this, post it on social media. Give me something that will make that make sense. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out. Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else.